for leading us to another Wednesday night Warriors by the class. All praise to the Most High, man. All right. I want to give double honors to the elect elders that's been pushing the truth for decades, motivating me not to be faint-hearted in this truth and to be a soldier for the Lord, man. So all praise to the Most High for the elders enduring, man, being a mighty righteous example for us. All right, showing us that we can do it, man, and we can endure keeping the commandments, man. I want to give a mighty shout out, a mighty shalom to the Battle Axes captains, all right, Captain Jerubbaal, Captain Yahri, and Captain Benaniyah. Shalom, shalom to the Battle Axe captains, man. All of the mighty soldiers out here in Israel, all the mighty leaders in Israel. All right, there's guiding the sheep, guiding the flock, guiding their households. All right, brothers coming out with great edifying classes. All right, brothers going to camp, waking up the elect. All right, and just enduring, man, and being a good example to other Israelites, man. All right, shalom, shalom to everybody that's pushing this truth. All right. And I just want to motivate everybody to continue to endure, man. Hey, we're at the end of this thing, and we have to keep pushing forward, man. Captain Jerubbaal just came out with a great class just on last Monday, man. Hey, we have to push through this truth, man. I had a great class, man. Through all the affliction, man, we have to keep pushing through this truth, man. We can't be giving up and getting faint hearted, man. All right, you might fall down, but damn it, get back up and keep pushing. All right. Last but not least, I want to give a mighty shalom to all of the sisters out here in Israel. All right, married and unmarried, man. Cooking, cleaning, sewing, reverencing their husbands, taking care of their household. All right, setting their households in order. All right, doing all that they can do to reach that bar of being that Proverbs 31 woman, man. So all praise to the Most High for the sisters out here in Israel. Just like I said, I want to motivate y'all to keep going because we at the end of the world, truly, man. These prophecies are kicking off every day, every day, every day. All right. Shalom to everybody that's in the chat, man. Got my boy Lamar up in here. All right. Shalom to Antoinette. All right. Shalom to Janae Barber Jones. All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom to everybody that's in the chat that's tuned in and will tune in later on. All right. So I'm gonna jump straight to this class. I'm starting off a little bit late. I mean, like I said, I'm always try to keep it like right at an hour, 15 minutes. All right, so we're gonna go through these precepts. I just noticed it's still a lot of folly in Israel, man. There's a lot of folly and madness in Israel concerning um breakdown of proper breaking down of the scriptures, man. Properly breaking these scriptures down. All right, leading brothers and sisters astray. All right, y'all have to be careful about watching certain people, man. Okay, because it's certain people that will take your understanding away, man. All right, so that's why shalom to Officer Don up in here. We got Donovan up in here. All right, but hey, it's brothers in Israel they trying to steal congregation, and man, they're trying to steal your truth, man. All right, and they're trying to take your covenants and your blessings and giving it to other nations, man. All right. So we going this is one scripture, Zechariah chapter 2 in verse 11. All right. This is the scripture, Zechariah 2 and 11, because it's scriptures like this that will have brothers and sisters confounded if you're not grounded in the scriptures, man. If you're not grounded in the scriptures, Zechariah 2 and 11 will have you confounded. So this class is based off of Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 11. And by the end of this class, every brother and sister should know. I want to encourage y'all to take notes. All right, to put notes in your Bible by this precept, man. All right, yeah, because y'all have to know how to defend the doctrine properly in righteousness. All right, shalom, shalom. All right, so with that, we're gonna just jump straight into it, man. We're gonna start off with Matthew chapter 22 in verse 9, man. We're gonna go to our Lord and see what our Lord say about breaking down scriptures, man. All right. And it reads, Matthew 22 and verse 11, Yahweh answered and said unto them, ye do err not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God, man. And we have brothers and sisters that err in the scriptures because they don't know the scriptures. Like we know how our Christian counterparts, They'll read one thing in the New Testament and not have understanding of these things, or in the Old Testament, man. All right. So the Lord reveals His truth, and He reveals the secrets of this Bible according to all them that keep the commandments. That's how you get understanding. When you see brothers bugging out and teaching opposite of the doctrine, teaching opposite of what the scriptures is saying, all right, with no understanding, most likely that brothers and sisters are in sin, man. Brothers and sisters be in sin, man. All right. So, hey, you have to know the scriptures lest ye err. All right. We're going to jump straight into it, man. Y'all already know the precept of Psalms chapter 111 and verse 10. You get understanding when you keep the commandments. You get understanding when you keep the commandments. So when you read something like Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 11, you're not confounded, all right? All right. Then you should say, God bless everyone reading this. Jesus is the only way to heaven. He loves you and wants to save you. So, Brother Daniel, how are you saved, though? All right? How, Brother Daniel, are you just saved by just saying that I'm saved? All right? But we ain't going to get into that, man. All right? All right. It's already filing madness in the chat already, man. We just, golly. Let's get Zechariah. All right? Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 11. It reads, I'm gonna start at verse 10. It says, sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion. For lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Lord. So the Lord said he will dwell in Zion, which we know Zion is Israel, okay? It says, and many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people. And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts has sent me unto thee. Okay, so right here is Zechariah 2 and 11. It says that many nations shall be joined unto the Lord that day. So does that mean that all nations are going to be on the same? Like, what do brothers and sisters think that mean, man? All right, what does it mean? And many nations shall be joined unto the Lord. What does that mean? Does that mean that the Chinese people are going to be joined into God, unto the Most High, Yahweh? All right. Is the so-called East Indian, Elam, are they going to be joined unto the Israelites? All right. Are they going to partake in our covenants? What does this mean, man? All right. So tonight's class, we're gonna break it down. We're just gonna give y'all some pros and cons and just some things that are common sense. One thing about the scriptures, they do not contradict itself. The scriptures are not saying I'm gonna save you, and at the same time I'm gonna destroy you and put you into slavery at the same time. That's a contradiction. Okay, so let's get the next precept, man. Let's go to Genesis chapter 2 in verse 3. First of all, because this part is important. Hey, starting off with our father Abraham. Because even the Israelites to this day, we still dwell in the covenants of our forefathers that the Lord made with Abraham. All right, let's get Salakia. Genesis chapter 12 and verse 3. All right, brothers and sisters should know this precept. All right, this is the book of Genesis chapter 12 verse 3, and it reads. I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, and I will make thee a great nation. So the Lord say, I will make Abraham a great nation, okay? And I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou should be a blessing. All right, Abraham himself, okay? And it says, I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So here again, we're seeing that all families of the earth shall be blessed. But y'all gotta think about it. All families of the earth don't necessarily come from Abraham. So once again, what is this talking about, man? What is this talking about? All right. Let's dig just a little bit deeper. Okay. I'm just break it down. I'm gonna keep it real simple. All right. I'm gonna keep it real simple. I got quite a few precepts, man. All right, let's get Genesis chapter 22 and verse number 15. All right, and it reads, And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time and said, by myself I had sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son. This is when Abraham was sent to sacrifice his only son. To sacrifice Isaac. Okay. And it reads that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. So right here, there's so many precepts that we can dive into. What nation is known as the sand of the seas, man? Y'all brothers and sisters, if y'all can put it in the chat. What nations are known as the sand of the sea? Okay? Because now we're starting to see that this is, even when we read Genesis chapter 12 and verse 3. Now we at Genesis chapter 22. This is going into the Israelites, man. All right, but let's get the precepts, because the Lord say prove our things. All right, 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Let's get the book of Hosea. Let's get the book of Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. All right, the book of Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. It reads, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in that place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it should be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. So you got to think about, like, the Israelites, we cover the whole earth, man. They call us the minority, but we're the majority of the earth, man. We cover the earth. We're literally in every nation, man. All right, and we are many nations. Got to think about our brothers and sisters down there in Venezuela. In Venezuela, the Asherites. All right, so the Israelites are considered nations. All right, so we're gonna break this thing down. You got to think about the Israelites here that's in Mexico. All right, full of Israelites, different tribes in South America, man. All right, we have tribes in Africa. Okay, we even have tribes in China, man. Okay, so yes, we are nations. Okay, we're literally in different nations and considered different nations because we are like the sand of the sea. So y'all have to keep these things in mind. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I don't want to make it difficult. I want y'all to be able to understand this plainly. Let's get Isaiah chapter 10, man. Let's get Isaiah chapter 10. So the whole thing is just breaking down that Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 11, man. But let's get Isaiah. All right. Let's get Isaiah chapter 10 so I can. This Bible got the big floppy pages, man. Isaiah chapter 10 in verse number 21. All right. The book of Isaiah chapter 10 and verse number 21, it says, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea. So y'all have to pick up the context clues, man. That's why Christ said you do err not knowing the scriptures. We are known as the sand of the sea. So we're going to go back and read that in Genesis chapter 22 in a minute. All right. Verse 22, it says, for thy people Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The composition decreed shall overflow with righteousness. For the Lord of God of hosts shall make a consumption, even determined in the midst of all the land. Okay, so we're known as the sand of the sea in the midst of all the land. Okay, all right, let's go back to Genesis chapter 22. All right, and let's read. Let's start at verse 17. It says that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. So you have to pick up the context clues. All right. It says, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies, man. So you have the seed, this particular bloodline of Abraham, but yet he has enemies, man. So this can't be talking about everybody. This has to be talking about one particular people. All right. But let's keep reading. Verse 18, it says, and in thy seed all nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. And when we obey the Lord's voice, the Israelites are blessed. And when we disobey, we are cursed. Now, the scriptures are twofold, man, because the heathen are blessed because of us. Because I'm going to tell y'all, when we went into captivity and the earth was given over to the hand of the wicked, all right, when the earth was given over to the hand of the so-called white man, all the nations are being oppressed right now because we didn't do our job, man. Okay? And when we return back to our place, all right, when we get back on our throne, okay, under Yahushua, right, all the nations are going to rejoice. The trees are going to rejoice. The animals are going to rejoice, man. And everything will be set back in order. All right, things will be done in righteousness, not in wickedness. Right now, it's a bunch of usury, chaos, and confusion, and sex trapping, and all hell is breaking loose, man, because the earth was given to the hands of the wicked. So yes, on another fall, the nations will be blessed, man. Okay, the nations will be blessed. I'm not going to jump too far into my class, man, but that's it's some blessings coming for these heathen, man. All right, let's get the next precept. All right, let's touch on Ishmael, man. Let's get Genesis chapter 21, man. I'm gonna touch on Ishmael, because even Ishmael was blessed. All right, Isaac was the chosen. All right, and the covenant went to Isaac. We're gonna touch all that. There's a difference. I saw the name of the class "Blessings of the Gentile" versus the covenants of the Israelites, but the title was just too long. So I just made it blessings of the Gentiles, man. So there's a difference between blessings and covenants, man. They are two different things. Yeah, man, the Lord will throw the heathen a bone, man. The same way Christ threw the heathen a bone in Matthew chapter 15 and verse 24, man. All right, when that heathen was begging for her daughter to be healed, man. And Christ threw a bone after she called herself a dog, right? But let's get it. Let's touch on Isaac, all right? There are blessings that come upon the heathen, man. All right? Just like, and I'm going to tell y'all, and it's important to remember Genesis chapter 12, verse 3. I bless them that bless thee, curse them that curse thee. Okay? That is a real thing. Okay? Let's get Genesis chapter 21. All right? We're going to start at verse 9. Genesis chapter 21 and verse 9, it reads, and Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptians, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for this son of a bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even Isaac, man. All right, and this is a woman talking. All right, but let's see what the Most High say. All right, it says, and this thing was very grievous unto Abraham's sight because of his son. All right, because Ishmael was Abraham's first son, man. All right, it wasn't Isaac, but the Lord say the firstborn is who I say that the firstborn is, regardless. All right, same thing with Esau and Jacob. Verse 12, it says, and God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of thy bondwoman. All right, and and all Sarah has said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, and Isaac shall thy seed be called. So in Isaac thy seed shall be called, man. So this is that great multitude. This is that many nations. All right. This is that many nations that is gonna come out of Abraham, Isaac, and ultimately his son Jacob. All right. So you see that the bondwoman or the slave woman was cast off, man. There's two lots for Israel, man. All right, there's one lot for us, and there's one lot for the heathen, man. All right. And they are made to be bond men and bond women, and that is their blessing, man. Their blessings, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Their blessings is to be in servitude of us, man. All right, but we're gonna break this thing down. All right, we ain't gonna leave no stone uncovered, all right, or unturned. All right, we're just gonna go through the precepts. All right, verse number 13, it says, and also of the son of the bondwoman, I would make a nation because he is thy seed. All right. He is thy seed. So one particular seed, Ishmael, gonna go this way, and this other seed, it's the call. This seed is gonna multiply wildly. Okay. So, but the Lord say, I will make Ishmael a nation, man. So Ishmael, he actually got a blessing. Okay. So yes, there are blessings for the heathen, man. All right. And I'm gonna tell you, when the Lord multiply a nation, it's only to increase them and to keep their bloodline going for captivity later, man. All right, straight up and down, man. But we're gonna get the precepts to prove these things. All right, shalom, shalom, Yakah. All right. Let's get the next precept on that, man. Let's jump down 21 and verse 17. All right, verse 17 it says, and God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called out to Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, why aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of thy lad. Where is he? Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thy hand, for I will make him a great nation. Okay, and Ishmael is a great nation, man. You know, they are very rich. They have princes. All right. They have 12 princes, just like Israel have 12 princes. We're gonna get that precept next, man. All right. They're over there in the so-called Middle East. All right. They have all the oil. All right. They're blessed with oil. They're blessed with gold. All right. And they are a nation of kings and priests also. Okay. Well, a nation of kings. I ain't even gonna say priests. But they are a nation of kings and princes, okay? And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. Okay, let's touch on one more thing with Ishmael. Let's jump over to chapter 25. All right, let's jump over one more thing we'll touch on with Ishmael and how Ishmael was he was blessed, man. So there are certain blessings that the heathen get. All right, but it's not on our level, man. All right, we are the apple of the Lord's eye, man. All right, their blessings don't compare with our covenants, man. Period. Point blank. Period. All right, let's get Genesis chapter 25 and verse 16. All right, Genesis 25 verse 16. This is another precept which I can add to that. It says, these are the sons of Israel. You can really start at 12, but I'm just trying to abridge. All right, so we're going to start right at 16. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their towns and by their castles. 12 princes according to their nations. All right, 12 princes according to their nations. So this is Ishmael. This is a great priest. I didn't even see this at first. But Zechariah 2 and 11, when it says all nations, that all nations is really going into Israel. Just like right here. When you read right here, it says, and the sons of Ishmael, and these are the names by their towns, the sons of Ishmael, all right? It says 12 princes according to their nations. So Ishmael became many nations. Y'all see how Ishmael became many nations? He had 12 sons. He had 12 princes, just like Jacob, man. Okay? Ishmael became many nations. The same way Israel became many nations. We kind of spread out and start conquering different lands and became our own nation, man. But we're under Israel wholly. All right? But that's the perfect precept, man, to break down Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 11. All right? Because I'm going to attack that Zechariah 2 and 11. Have brothers that so y'all don't err not knowing the scriptures. You have to know the scriptures to get understanding. You have to be keeping the commandments. All right, let's get Genesis chapter 17. So we see the blessings of Ishmael. We see the blessings of Ishmael. Now let's go to the covenant. All right, to the covenant of Isaac. All right, let's get Genesis chapter 17, man. Let's go back. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 17. All right. So yeah, there are blessings that these heathen get, man. All right, and they get there's more to this though. All right, Genesis chapter 17, and we're gonna start at verse 19. Genesis chapter 17 and verse number 19, and it reads, "And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him, an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him." Man, so Ishmael's seeds have blessing. Even to this day, the Arab man is balling out, man. All right, go over there to Saudi Arabia, man. Just beautiful city, all right, over there in Dubai and all these places, man. All right, keep reading, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with him seed. So the covenant was given unto Isaac, man. All right, we got more than blessings, man. We have a covenant with we have a contract with the Most High God, man. We have a bond with the Most High God, man, that can't be broken, right? Let's keep reading. Verse 20, it says, "And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him." So you see that? Isaac got the covenant. Ishmael got a blessing. You know, Ishmael got like leaves. He got, he got cast a little pebble, okay? A few little trinkets, or whatever you want to call it. It says, "As for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget. I will make him a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac," man. All right, so y'all understand that, man. The nations get blessings, man. They get blessings. But the covenant is with Isaac and Jacob, okay? It says, "Which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year," man. So that's just it say all Ishmael got was some damn oil. Officer Donovan put, that's all he got was some oil, man. That's all he got was some oil. But the Israelites, we're gonna get we don't get just the oil, we get them. They got the oil, but we're gonna own them and that oil. That's the covenant and the blessings that the Lord has given us. We're gonna rule over them. They're gonna serve us. The land that they're on, they're gonna dig in the ground, all right, and get the oil that we tell them to get out. All right, they're gonna process it how we tell them to process it, and they're gonna sell it and give us the damn money, and then we're gonna tax them. That's how they're blessed. That's how the nations will be blessed, man. They're gonna be happy just to not be under the so-called white man no more, man. Okay, but let's keep going. I'm kind of jumping ahead, man. I'm kind of jumping ahead, man. All right, but let's get Romans chapter 9, verse 3. Like, we really halfway done with the class, but nah, we got some precepts to go through, y'all. I said I'm gonna try to keep this class right at an hour. We got some precepts. We ain't halfway done. That wasn't true. All right, Romans chapter 9 and verse 3. It says, "For which I was for Salakia, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites." All right, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. Okay, because the other nations wasn't adopted. We were adopted. Shalom, Fred. I don't know what this brother Fred. We were adopted according to Romans chapter 8, verse 15, according to Galatians chapter 5, verse 4, Galatians chapter 4 and verse 5. The adoption is only for the Israelites. You never hear what any other nations were included in adoption. It says, "And the glory and the covenants." All right, Jeremiah 30 and 30, Hebrews 8 and 8, man. You don't hear about no other nation being in the covenants, man. It says, and you will hear, we're going to get some accounts on how the heathen were literally blessed by blessing us. I got a few literal accounts, but it's nowhere near the covenants of the Israelites, though. It says, "And giving of the law and the services," because the giving of the law was only given to the Israelites, all right? All right, it was only, what's that, Psalms 147 and verse 19, Psalms 50 and 5. All right, it says 2nd Ezra chapter, 3 and 36. Okay, the covenants were only given to us, all right? And the giving of the law was only given to us, all right? And the services of God, man, because we're the service of the Lord, all right? And the service of God and the promises. It says, whose are the fathers, and whom concerning the flesh came Christ, who is all over. God bless forever and ever. Amen. All concerning of the flesh through the bloodline of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. Not just Abraham's bloodline. All right. But it's a particular seed. All right. Through Isaac and unto Jacob. Okay. It says, not as though the word of God have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. So we got people of our nations that's really like they sellouts, man. Just because you're Israelite in blood, that don't mean that you're part of the nation, because you are a sellout. You're just like the heathen, and the Lord look at you as a heathen. That's what that means. All right, verse 7, it says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all called, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. You see that? And the called is Isaiah chapter 48, verse 12. That's the precept for the called, man. All right, Israel is the called. All right. Even when you're reading back in Genesis chapter 12 and verse 3, all right, in Genesis chapter 22, all right, the Lord has called Abraham, man. All right, but verse 8, see, you got to pick up all those little context clues, all right? It says, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promises are counted for the seed, man. So there's no salvation for all the nations when you read Zechariah 2 in verse 11. All right, there's no saving. That's not for everybody, man. All right, let's get Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 1, man. So we just starting out this class just discerning blessings from covenants, man. All right, yeah, man. The Lord threw the heathen a bone, man, and the Lord might throw the heathen a few bones, man. But we need them alive and healthy, man. We need them alive and healthy. And we need their seed to go on too, man, so they can serve us, man. I mean, we need our service in shape, all right, and healthy, all right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse number 1, okay? It reads, these are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant he have made with them in Horeb, okay? So once again, the covenants go through Abraham and his seed, Isaac and his seed, unto the children of Israel, which are the sand of the sea, man, which are the nations, man. Israel, we literally are the nations, man. All right. If y'all have ears to hear, all right, let's get Hebrews 8 and 8, man. And then we'll jump into the next portion of this lesson, all right? Hebrews 8 and 8. I'm at Romans. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8, y'all. I don't know why I get those mixed up. I don't know why. Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 8, it says, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days coming, saith the Lord, when I would make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. We don't hear the house of Moab. We don't hear the house of the Chinese man. We don't hear the house of the Arab, Ishmael, all right, Elam. All right, we don't hear any of the Esau. All right. And the Lord told us that we're going to get that too. The Lord told us not to make a covenant with these other nations, man. Period. Okay? Verse 9, it says, not according to the covenant that I will make with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant. I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make in that day, the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my laws into their mind, and I will write them in their hearts, and I will be unto them a God, and they shall be my people, man. Okay? So I just want to touch on that, man, just to show you, even the new covenant is for the house of Israel and for the house of Judah. All right? For the house of Israel and for the house of Judah, man. All right? Now, let's touch on just how these nations, other examples on how the nations were blessed, because we do know that there was a mixed multitude that came out with us out of Egypt, man. We know it was a mixed multitude came out of Egypt with us. That is very true. All right, and they did dwell with us. All right, because they want. And why do y'all think that those heathen came with us? Why do y'all think? All right, if anybody could just, it ain't got to be a precept. It could be a precept. But why do y'all think when we fled Egypt, there were Egyptians that came, or there was other heathen that came with us? Why do y'all think that? Why, when we left Egypt, were there other people leaving with us? That's right, soldier call, because they saw the works of the Lord and they were in fear. All right, and they were in fear, man, and they clave to us, man. All right, but the Lord does put a difference between the Egyptian and Israel, and not just the Egyptian and Israel, all these other nations in Israel. All right, like we're going into Purim soon, man. All right, and we're gonna touch on that, like in a few weeks, okay? We're gonna touch on those two lots, man. It's always a lot for Israel and a lot for the other nations. The nations are not on the same level as us, man. All right, and the other nations, yeah, like I say, we didn't touch on this before. They get blessings, man. The other nations get blessings, man. All right, but they don't get salvation, man. Well, they get salvation, but it's for damn servants and handmaids, man. All right. And we're going to touch that because the Lord said, prove all things, man. Like I say, it's a lot of folly still going on in Israel. All right. And like I say, if you're not learning the scriptures, a brother reads Zechariah 2:11 and you will be confounded. Well, the Lord say all nations will be his people, because all nations is referring to Israel. Okay. All nations is referring to Israel. All right. But we're going to further prove that. All right. But let's go to Exodus chapter 12. All right, let's touch on just a little bit on this mixed multitude leaving with us. All right, Exodus chapter 12, and we're going to start at verse 37. All right, and it reads, and the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot. There were men besides children, and a mixed multitude went up also with them, and the flocks and herds, even very much cattle, man. All right, so yeah, there was a mixed multitude, and Soldier Yakar said for fear, because they had saw the mighty works of our Lord. Stop. There go my dog. My dog always, when I'm in the middle class, it's a damn spirit to get on him, man. I gotta fast more. This spirit over here, he's just doing stuff. Hold on, y'all. I'm talking about just find anything, man. Just find anything. All right. So let's come on. We're gonna further touch on why these people, why the Lord put it on these people's spirit to follow us into the wilderness. All right. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 11, man. Get Deuteronomy 29, 11, and let's see why when we were saved out of Egypt, these heathen were saved out of Egypt with us. Let's see why. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 29. And verse 11, and it reads, your little ones, your wives, and the stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of wood unto the drawer of water. So these are slaves, man. So these heathen actually, they work for us, man. All right, they hewed wood for us and they drew water for us, man. So they were basically servants and handmaids, man. All right, and they agreed to serve us in the wilderness. All right, let's get it. Okay, the Lord said prove all things. Let's get another precept on that. Let's get Joshua. Let's get the book of Joshua. The book of Joshua chapter 9. Let's get Joshua chapter 9, y'all. 9 and verse 1. So like it. The book of Joshua chapter 9 and verse 1. All right. The book of Joshua chapter 9 and verse 1. And it reads, and it came to pass when all the kings which were on this side of the Jordan, in the hills and in the valleys, and in all the coasts of the great sea over against Lebanon, the Hittite and the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Pezerite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite heard thereof, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. So they made to moat, man. All right, just like when you read in Psalm chapter 83, all these nations, when they hear us and they see of us, they all get together in these damn think tanks and your damn UN, all right, and these Christian polypathetic schools, all right, and they focus on how we're gonna take these Israelites down, man. All these nations, all right. But let's jump to verse 6. All right, verse 6 says, and they went to Joshua unto the camp of Gilgal, and said unto him and to the men of Israel, we become far, we become far a far country. All right, we become from a far country. Now, therefore, make ye a league with us, man. So they're like, hey, all right, man, like, we kind of scared of y'all. And this is all these nations. So, hey, man, let's make a league with each other. We with you and you with us, all right? That's what the heathen is telling Joshua and the Israelites, all right? Verse 7, it says, and the men of Israel said unto the Hivites, peradventure ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you, man? We can't just have you in the midst of us like that. Okay, you can't, like, how can we trust y'all? All right, but let's just jump down to 21. We're finna get to the point. Verse 21. All right, and it reads, and the princes said unto them, let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water unto all the congregation of the princes had promised them. Okay, so yeah, y'all gonna be hewers of wood and drawers of water. Y'all gonna be servants and slaves. If y'all want to dwell among us, y'all are gonna serve us. And that's how it was from the beginning in Exodus, man. So y'all keep these things in mind. Verse 22, it says, and Joshua called for them, and he spake unto them, saying, wherefore have you beguiled us, saying, we are very far from you, when ye dwell among us? Now therefore ye are cursed, and there should none of you be freed from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God. You see that? So when they were deceitful with the Israelites, okay, they were cursed. So they go back to Genesis chapter 12 and verse 3. All right, I'm gonna curse you I'm gonna curse them that curse you. All right, I'm gonna bless them that bless thee. All right. So one way of them being blessed is just to dwell among us, to serve us, man. All right. And sometimes, hey, man, we did use rigor at some points of time, the same way that they dealt with us, man. All right. But let's get Exodus. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 1. All right. Let's get another example on how these heathen are blessed, or blessings that they get. All right, just by being around us. Okay, just by them serving us. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, slide. Go ahead, out of here. Get out of here. Salaki, y'all. Dog tripping. All right, so let's get an example on how the Lord blessed the heathen, man. Let's get Exodus chapter 1 and verse 15. All right. Exodus chapter 1 and verse 15, it reads, and the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Saphar, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to a Hebrew woman, and see them upon their stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. So the Pharaoh of Israel at that time was, he was wicked, man. This is King Ramses the second of the 18th, 19th dynasty of Egypt, okay? He didn't know Joseph, okay? All right, if it's a Hebrew male, kill him. That's what he told the Hebrew midwives, okay? It says, but the midwives for the Hebrews, okay? It says, but the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded. So, yeah, man, the Lord will put fear on these other nations, man. Have them seeing dreams and visions. All right, have them damn bugging out to let you know, hey, don't touch my people, man. All right. It says, but the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved them, the men, children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing and have saved the men, children alive? And the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not like as the Egyptian women. All right. So even the Egyptian women are saying, hey, man, these Hebrew women different. Let's see how. It says, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives coming unto them. So basically, the Egyptian midwives, it's like, man, these people, they multiply. Man, they be pregnant 1 minute, you come back in to deliver the baby, and the baby then already popped out. Basically, they saying, man, these Hebrew women, they just popping these babies out before we can even get to them, man. So the Egyptian midwives for the Hebrews, they use guile, man, to save the Egyptian children. I mean, to save the Israelite males, okay? Verse 20 says, therefore God dealt with them with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mightily. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses, man. So these women, these Egyptian women became great because they feared our God and they saved our children, man. So these women were blessed. All right. So there's little things like that. When you go back to Genesis 12, verse 3. All right. The Lord said, I will curse them that curse you and bless them that bless thee. And then even when Israel, we're going to get the precept. The Lord tell the same thing to the Israelites in Deuteronomy. Hey, Israel, I'm going to bless them that bless thee and curse them that curse you. All right. The same thing. Okay. So it just, and when did you hear the Lord tell Ishmael, I'm going to bless them that bless thee and curse them that curse? No, that's only for the children of Israel through the seed of Abraham, through that particular seed, man. All right. The Lord, like I say, he blessed other nations, but he never said, I'm going to bless them that bless you and curse them to curse you, man. That's for us, man. All right. So I'm just showing y'all some differences between actually being in a covenant with the Most High God and just receiving everyday blessings, man. All right. Yes, the other nations are blessed. They have blessings. All right. But they don't compare to our covenants and the love that the Most High have for his children. All right. Let's get the next example, man. Let's get Genesis chapter 27, man. All right. Because I just want to touch that one more time, man. I just want to touch that one more time. Let's get Genesis chapter 27 and verse 23. All right. Genesis chapter 27, so like it in verse 23. All right, the book of Genesis chapter 27 and verse number 23. Okay, so this is Jacob getting his blessing, okay? All right, and we're going to see how this thing play out, all right? And it reads, and he discerned him not, because as his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, art thou my son Esau? All right, and we all know what happened. Let's just kind of jump down. Let's jump down. All right. All right. Verse 27, it says, and he came near and kissed him. And he smelled of his raiment and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. Therefore God giveth thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. So even when you're using the word nations, just like when you use the word Gentiles, you have to put it into context. All right. You got nations concerning just the Israelites, and you have nations concerning the heathen if you have ears to hear. All right. But verse 29 says, let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. All right. It says, curse be every, hold on, I almost passed it up. It says, and be Lord over thy brethren. And who is Jacob's brethren, man? Esau, man. All right. So eventually we will be lords over them. We were once lords over them once, but after Christ come back, we will be lords over them again. All right. It says, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. The Lord only told that to Abraham, man. He told that to Abraham, and he told that to Jacob, man. Bless him that blessed thee, and curse them that cursed thee. He never told any other nation that, man. Which shows that there's a difference between us and the other nations. All right. All right. So y'all can precept that Genesis 27 and 29 with Genesis 12 verse 3. All right. All right. Now we got we got Jacob's blessing. Let's see Esau's blessing. All right. The blessing Esau get. All right. And it reads Genesis chapter 27 and verse 34. It says, and Esau heard the words of his father. He cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said to thy brother came with subtlety and have taken away thy blessing. And we all know that Esau sold his damn birthright, man. So you know that ain't all the way true. All right, Esau sold his birthright. Y'all should precept that with Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 17. Let's go ahead and get that, man. Yes, Esau he gets a blessing too, man. Even Esau got a blessing, man. But let's get that in Hebrews chapter 12 real quick. But we have to touch on one point. All right, Hebrews chapter 12 and verse number 17. I'm gonna say read verse 16. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. See, he sold his birthright, man. He sold his birthright. All right. Verse 17, it says, for ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Yeah, he cried in Genesis chapter 27 and verse 34. Y'all can precept that, man. All right. Though he cried, there's no salvation for these other nations, man. There's no, it's telling you right here, there's no salvation for Esau. Yeah, he got a blessing, but there's no salvation for him. All right, so y'all keep these things in mind. All these precepts I'm bringing out, when we go back to the end, we read Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 11. All right. All right, let's go back to Genesis. Genesis chapter 27, and let's jump down to verse 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. All right, though he sought it with tears, there's no salvation for him. You read in Hebrews 12 and 17. The scriptures do not contradict themselves. Let's see what this blessing is. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. So yeah, they got the fatness of the earth, man. All right. Esau rules the world right now. Most of the world currency has a so-called white man on it, man. They rule the earth. The earth was given unto them, man. The fatness of heaven, meaning they're in rulership. All right. That was another precept in Wisdom of Solomon, I think chapter 2, where they giving the fatness of the earth, and they just using the earth all up. They're just using it up. They just wilding out. Even right now, Esau know that his time is over with. So he's like, if we can't have the earth, nobody can have it. Let's dig up everything. Let's spray the sky with poison. All right. Hey, it's a snowstorm coming. When a snowstorm comes, we're going to go over the clouds. We're going to spray chemtrails. So when the snow falls down, it's like mixed with this plastic. You try to burn it and melt it, but it won't melt. All right. Just all kind of folly and madness, man. We're going to chop down all the trees, man. We ain't going to leave nothing. If we can't have it, it can't nobody have it, man. So that's their blessing, man. They were given the fatness of the earth, man. Verse 40, it says, and by the sword shall thy live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and by thy sword thou shalt live, man. And they live by the sword, man. Esau lived by the sword. Rape, rob, and murder, man. All right. Rape, rob, and murder, taking people's land, taking their children, stealing their damn presidents. All right. So that's their blessing, man. That's the blessing that they get, man. All right. And that's how Esau was blessed. And that's why you see them in power, how they're in power right now, because the Lord blessed them to be in power like how they are right now. It says, and by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right. Let's get another example on how heathens get blessings, man. Yeah, they get little blessings, man. Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 15, man. All right, we have 54 minutes, man. I'm gonna have to cut some of these precepts, or maybe not. All right, but the last precepts, y'all gotta stick around for, because it's gonna really nip it in the bud, man. All right, let's get 1 Samuel chapter 15. All right, 1 Samuel chapter 15, and we're gonna start at verse 2. Okay, it says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts: Remember that what Amalek did to Israel, how they laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant, even the little babies, man. All right? And sucklings, oxen, and sheep, camel, and ass. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in till a man, 200,000 footmen and 2,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Canaanites, go depart, get ye down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye shewed kindness to the children of Israel when they came up out of the land of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. So there were certain nations when we came out of Egypt, they kind of looked after us, man. They gave us bread, they gave us drink, man. All right, and these nations were blessed for doing these things. So right now, the Lord is finna smite Amalek, but he's warning the Kenites, hey, y'all get out of here, y'all help us. That's a blessing, man. All right, that's a blessing that was bestowed upon the heathen, man. And even when y'all read, we ain't gonna go get it in Joshua. Y'all go read in Joshua chapter 6 and verse 24. All right, when we're dealing with Ahab the harlot, she was blessed, man. And her family was blessed. These heathen were blessed for helping the children of Israel capture Jericho. Okay, so there's many examples on how these nations, yeah, the Lord throw them a bone, man. Yeah, y'all helped us out. So, you know, we're gonna throw y'all a bone, but do y'all get a covenant with us? No. All right, no. And we're gonna go back to that Zechariah 2 and 11 at the end of this class, man. And we almost there. In fact, let's go to Zechariah 2 and 11 right now. Let's go ahead and go there, because this is where we started off. Like I said, I heard some folly yesterday, man. It's the same brothers. Y'all already know who they are. I ain't finna call them out, you know what I'm saying? But y'all already know who they are. Still spreading madness, man. And I say y'all got to be careful, and y'all have to know the scriptures, because y'all will read Zechariah 2 and 11 and be confounded, all right? So let's read Zechariah 2 and 11 again. It says, and many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people. Just like Ishmael, who was reading the book of Genesis. Ishmael and his 12 sons became nations. So right here, when it says that many nations shall be joined unto the Lord that day, that is going into the Israelites, because we were scattered among all the nations, man. Okay? But the scriptures are twofold, though. All right? We're going to touch on that in a minute, too. It says that many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people. And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts has sent me unto them. I had to touch on it again. Let's get James 1 and 1, man. Now, we at the end of this class, we just finna start hitting some home run precepts. So these last little precepts, man, brothers and sisters should be really writing these down, man, if you don't have them. But let's get James chapter 1 and 1. Because you have to, first of all, you have to be keeping the commandments, because you can read the Bible all day long. I have a coworker, she reads the Bible, but she don't really get it. She don't understand. She don't understand what's going on. God is love, and Jesus is love. And you don't understand what's going on, man. Lord ain't all love, man. All right. James chapter 1 and verse 1, it says, James, a servant of God and of the Lord, Hamashiach Yahushua, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. We are scattered to all nations. A lot of people, they err with Zechariah 2 and 11, not knowing the scriptures. Because there's too many scriptures that show us how we were scattered amongst the Gentiles, man. Okay, so let's get Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 7. So now we just gonna touch on some precepts, some real quick hitters real quick, all right? It's Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 27. It says, all right, and this is one of the curses that's put on us. Deuteronomy 4 and 27, it says that the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whether the Lord shall lead you, okay? So, yeah, man, we were scattered unto all the nations, man. I put, what tribe am I? Well, Psych 13:13. It all depend on your forefathers. Like, what are you? If you're in America, how did your forefathers get here? All right, if your forefathers been here, you can trace them back to the Native American Indians. All right, you will be of the northern kingdom, the tribe of Gad, or either like Reuben. Okay, it's just all the opinions. All right, you a Latina. So if you are a Latina, you most likely would. It's a lot of Latin nations, man. You could be Issachar. Um, what are the Cubans in the Dominicans? Um, Issachar. You can be oh man, down there in Venezuela. Damn, I just said it earlier. I just said it earlier. Hold on. All right, you could be a Zebulon. You could be an Issachar. All right, if you're a Latina. All right, you could be you can be a Reuben. Okay. Yeah, so there's different tribes, all dependent on your characteristics. You have to trace your stuff back, your roots back to your forefather. It says it's impossible to trace your roots back. Well, you know what? What Romans chapter 16, verse 6 and verse 16 say? All right. Hey, if your spirit bears witness, all right, if your spirit bears witness to what's going on, that you are the children of the Most High God. We don't look, even when you're reading First Timothy. All right, we don't really focus on endless genealogies, man. All right, if your spirit bear witness to these scriptures and what's going on with these scriptures, all right, 9 times out of 10, you are an Israelite, man. All right, Carlos Gonzalez, I got caught up in the chat. It says, if you don't know that you need to be quiet, you're in the Canaanite nation. This is a Canaanite nation. If you believe in Jesus Christ, you're a Canaanite. Well, we don't believe in Jesus Christ. We believe in Hamashiach, Wamalaki Yahweh. That's who we believe in. We don't believe in Jesus Christ. All right, yeah, there you go, Brother Fred. Zebulon. All right, Sister Site 1313, you could be in the tribe of Zebulon. Yeah, the brothers putting in Anessa is the Cubans. All right. So yeah, it all depend on where your people derive from, as far as being over here in the side of the earth. All right. Here we go with brothers. Bro is not like the Latinos and Dominicans are not a part of the tribe. You guys have to understand that the bloodline there, not but spiritually they can. That don't even make sense. It says bloodline there, not but spiritually they can. I'm not understanding that all the way. All right. It says you got to read them scriptures. You're me, old guy. I mean, y'all just seek the King. Said Shalom family caught this class on the back end. It's beautiful to see God's people with zeal for him. On fire. Yahweh shall I praise to the Most High. I'll praise to the Most High. All right. So regardless of how certain brothers and sisters feel, hey, keep the commandments, man. That's the more weightier matter, man. All right. There's always debate. You got these got the Southern Kingdom only. You know, they don't. It's a lot of people that don't believe that our Native American and our Latinos brothers and sisters are Israelites, but they are Israelites. And that's why a lot of people err not knowing the scriptures. I could go into a little lesson on that real quick. All right, but I got to get through these precepts, man. All right. We know who our brothers and sisters are by through the precepts and their characteristics, man. Right? It says, hello, Salah, Russia. Now, there are Israelites in Russia as well, man. There's black people that's being mistreated up there in Russia. If you so-called black man, you in Russia, 9 times out of 10, you are Israelite, man. All right. All right. But let me get back to the class, man. All right. Let's get back to the class, all right? Let's get Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4. I done got sidetracked like a mug. Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4. Let's get back to this class, man. All right. It's the book of Matthew chapter 4 and verse 14. Okay? Matthew chapter 4 and verse 14. It reads, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles, man. The people which sat in darkness saw a great light. and to them which sat in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung up. Okay. From that time, Yahweh shall begin to preach and say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So right here it's telling you, even these Gentiles, man, it's not talking about the other nations. It says, even Isaiah, so you have to know the scripture, it said, even in Isaiah, this is a prophecy that Christ is quoting from Isaiah, and the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali. That's the northern kingdom, man. All right, where most Latinos derive out of the northern kingdom. It says, by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. This is all the land of Israel. The Lord is calling them Gentiles, man. Just like the Lord call us nations, man. All right, so you have to read it in context, but let's prove that. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 1. So right here by that precept, y'all, by Matthew chapter 4 and verse 14, you need Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 1, because this is where Christ is pulling it from, right? This is the book of Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 1. It says, nevertheless, they diminish shall not be such, and was a vexation when at first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, because the kingdom of Israel was split, and the northern kingdom went the hell off. Okay, it says, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, in Galilee of the nations. You see that? So this is another precept to help you break down Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 11. This nation is going into the Israelites, man. All right, the way of the nations are going into the Israelites. It's going into the 12 tribes. Let's get another precept. Let's go to Acts, man. I'm going to show y'all how Israelites are many nations, man. Just like Ishmael, it literally said Ishmael became many nations, man, and he had 12 sons. He had 12 princes. The same way Jacob had 12 princes. They became many nations. These things are plain. These things are plain, man. All right. Let's get Acts chapter 1 and verse 8. It reads, but ye shall receive power after the Holy Ghost has come up upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and all of Judea and in Samaria. So this is the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Judea, the southern kingdom, and Samaria, the northern kingdom. If y'all don't know about the split, all right, of Israel, that you read in the Old Testament, you're not going to understand this. You're not going to really understand none of the New Testament. It says, and the uttermost parts of the earth. So not just the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, all over the earth, man. All over the earth where we scattered. Let's stay in Acts. Let's jump over to chapter 2. Acts chapter 2 and verse 5. It reads, hey, now this one is a home run hitter that showed that the Israelites are many nations. All right. And we were scattered into all nations. All right. This is the book of Acts chapter 2 and verse 5. It says, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under the sun. So when you go back to Zechariah chapter 2 and 11, those nations are referring to Israelites, man. Straight up and down, man. All right. It says Jews, devout men out of every nation under the sun. Every nation under the sun. Wherever that the sun shine on this earth, there's Israelites there. Like I say, even in China, a lot of y'all don't know, it's Negroes that look kind of Chinese. They got nappy hair and they look kind of Chinese, man. All right. Verse 6, it says, now this was noise abroad. The multitude came together and they were confounded because that every man heard them speaking in his own language, because these were Jews from different nations, man. Just like there's Israelites in Jamaica from the tribe of Benjamin. And I'm going to tell you, man, them Benjamites start talking that noise. They start talking how they speak. We don't understand we barely understand anything that they're saying, man. So this is just like we meet up with some Benjamites. They're talking and we can understand them, but we the same people, but are of two different nations, but are the same people. All right. Y'all to have ears to hear. It says, and they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how how hear we every man our own tongue wherein we were born. So let's see where these Jews out of all nations were born. Watch this. It says Parthenians and the Medes and the Elamites. Jews were called Elamites. They were Elamite Jews, man. All right. It says in the dwellers of Mesopotamia. All right. It's like Iraq, Iran. All right. It's still some of us right now in slavery right now in those areas. All right. It says, and in Judea, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Asia. All right. Phrygia, and Pamphylia, in Egypt, and in the parts of Libya, and Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes, Arabians. Look at all these damn nations. So this is Pentecost, and they all paid homage or came to Jerusalem to keep the Pentecost. We were still keeping the Pentecost, man. Jews out of every nation, literally. We would call Elamites. We would call we would call Egyptians. All right. It says we do hear them speak in our own tongues the wonderful works of God, man. So this is show you, man. Acts chapter 2 and verse 5 on down to 11 show you how we're literally out of it. Just like it's Jews here in America, we call ourselves American. If we go to so-called the land of Ham and we see Jews over there, okay, they're gonna call us Americans, but we're really Jews, man. We call ourselves American, man, right? Citizenship and nationality are two different things, man. All right, so it just show you how we are many nations. This is one great precept to show that we're many nations. All right, let's get Isaiah chapter 14 and 1 now. Let me go back to Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 11 before I read this, because the scriptures don't contradict itself. All right, the scriptures do not contradict itself, man. Because it's like I said, brothers and sisters, Zechariah 2:11, everybody, all the nations gonna be joined inside. Man, that's madness, man. And it's folly. All right, Zechariah 2:11 is where we started. It says, and many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day. Like I say, they go back to Acts chapter 2 and verse 5. We are the many nations, but there's some brothers and sisters teaching this is everybody, all the heathen and everybody. And many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people, and shall be the Lord's people in that day. Let's keep reading. It says, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts has sent me unto thee. Ain't that sweet? The Lord of hosts said, even the Chinese man, the so-called white man, everybody is going to be my people now. But let's see what Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1 say, because the scriptures don't contradict itself, man. All right. Yeah, the heathen, they get some blessings, but let's see how they're going to be blessed. And yeah, the nations are going to be joined unto us. Yeah, they are. But let's see how. This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. See that? Lord said he choose Israel. Okay? It says, and the strangers shall be joined with them. So these are the other nations. When I say the other nations, that Zechariah 2:11, it is twofold. Okay? Because the other nations will be joined to us. Yes, they will. They get some blessings. They get blessings. Let's see what kind of blessings they get. It says, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, man. They're going to cleave to us just like they cleave to us in the book of Esther, man. They're going to cleave to us in fear. But verse 2, it says, and the people shall take them. The Lord say, we're going to take the heathen. We're not going to ask them. The Lord say, we shall take them and bring them to their place. In the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord. So it says they're going to be in the land of the Lord, but they're going to be a possession. Something that when you possess something, you own it, man. All right. It says, and they should take them captives, who captives they were, and they should rule over their oppressors. So this don't sound sweet. Like I said, there was some brothers breaking down Zechariah 2:11, and they made it sound all sweet. All the nations are going to be joined together. The Lord said they're going to be joined with us to be slaves, men and slave women. That's what the Lord say. So it's not a sweet thing, man. That's the nation's blessing that they have coming when Christ come back, man. Okay, that's their blessing is to serve us. All right, and just imagine. Just imagine, because even in the kingdom, we're gonna have people serving us. They're gonna be in total submission and servitude, and it's just a blessing for them to even to wash our damn toilet seats, man. I'm just saying, that's gonna be a blessing to them. All right, let's read verse 3. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from the sorrow and from the fear and from all the hard abundance wherein thou was made to serve. So all the fear and abundance in that's right now, we don't know how bills will get paid. All hell's breaking loose. They don't want to give me a raise. I'm at work. They got me doing 5 damn different jobs. They don't want to pay me. They threaten to damn fire me. All hell is just is breaking loose. And I don't understand how brothers think that these people are going to be saved and we're going to be holding hands with these people. Nations join together and people are going to be God's people. No, the scriptures don't contradict themselves, man. All right. Let's get Isaiah chapter 60, man. We at the end. We got like 3 more precepts, y'all. We at the end. We're right at an hour and 15. We got like 3 more precepts. Let's get Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 10. All right. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 10. It reads, the sons and thy strangers shall build up thy walls. So the nations are going to cleave to us. We're going to take them for serving the handmaids. They're going to build up our walls. We have to have somebody to build our kingdom up. Our kingdom, this is going to be literally big. It's going to take some time to set this earth back in order, man. All right, they're going to have to break down all this concrete streets. They're going to break out all this folly and madness, man. All right, they're going to get a pickaxe, and they're going to have to damn dig it up by damn hand, man. That's their blessing, okay? So when you go back to Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 11, you have to make this make sense, man. It don't. Not unless those nations are talking about the Israelites that are scattered within all nations. I brought up precepts, and there's hundreds of other precepts that prove that. All right. It says, verse 10, and thy sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have mercy on thee. See, the Lord have mercy on us. It says, therefore, thy gates shall be open continually, not to let them in. All right. Because we're going to have porters. All right. It's something that you read about, that you learn about in the first 5 books. All right. Heathen ain't just going to be able to roam everywhere. They're not going to be able to do what the hell they want to do, man. All right. But our gates will be open continually. Let's see why. They should not be shut day nor night, that the men may bring unto them the forces of the Gentiles. The forces of the Gentiles are going to come into the Israelites. So the heathens are going to take all their forces is their wealth and their money and their resources. All right. They're going to be carrying down. They're going to have asses and damn sheep and damn gold and silver and copper. And they're going to be carrying it to the gates of our kingdom. All right. And then we have the Israelite porters that's going to get it and transfer it to the heathen that's on the inside, paving our streets with damn gold, man. Everything is going to be in order. In absolute order, man. All right. Damn, somebody mad as hell. Somebody mad. It says, even Muslims follow the scriptures better than this dummy. It says stuttering ass. Hey, man, brothers are just upset, man. And brothers are upset because either they're heathen or they might be married to a damn so-called white. A lot of these brothers be upset because they love the damn, they love Esau. They love what that big back Becky, man. Man, I got a damn brother that love big back Beckies, man. Every time I look up, he got a damn big back Becky, man. All right. Nah, Ehud, leave him. Nah, leave him. It's all good. Hey, man, everything that the Lord do is for a reason, man. And that's why when we read Romans chapter 9, the Lord say, not all Israel is Israel, man. Not all Israel is Israel. And then he talking about even the Arabs read some. So it's probably it might be some Ishmaelite or somebody that follows the Quran. Somebody that hates this lesson because their ass is going into straight slavery, man. Your ass is going into slavery. All right. And then we're gonna see who the stuttering dummy is then, right? Your ass is going into slavery, man. All praise to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High. But let's keep reading, man. Let's keep reading. All right. It says, I'm going to read verse 11 again. It says, therefore, thy gates shall be open continually. They should not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. Because I'm going to tell you, and I'm trying not to get graphic. I ain't trying to get graphic, but this same stuttering dummy, I'm just saying, Hey, man, the Most High, man, our God ain't playing. We're going to be, these same stuttering dummies are going to be the ones ravishing your damn family, man. Ravishing your children and ravishing your damn wives, man. A lot of y'all think it's a joke, but it ain't. So that's your future, man. Y'all get ready for captivity, and y'all get ready for the things that y'all have done to us. Whoever the hell it was, that damn Muslim up in here. All right, verse 12. It says, for the nation and the kingdom that would not serve shall perish thee. Whoever this damn dude is, who was it? Damn Iron. All right, you sound like a damn Ishmaelite. All right, for Iron, it says the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. So the Lord say, if you don't serve us, you're gonna perish, Iron. Your ass is gonna perish, man. All right. And I'm going to tell you, this is another thing. These nations are not going to want to keep the commandments. And that's why the Lord is going to give us rods of iron to beat the brakes off of people like Iron, man. All right? I don't give a damn what your name is, man. Your ass is going into captivity. All right? Your ass is going into captivity, man. But that's why it's going to be people like this. I had one brother. I ain't trying to get... Look, y'all, we almost finished. I had one brother, loved to death, man. But he was like, I just want the heathen. I just want them to wash my dishes. I don't want to know. Because you're going to have heathen like Iron. You're going to have heathen like Iron. It'll say, I'm not washing your dishes, you stuttering fool. And you're going to take that rod of iron and damn beat the brakes off of them, man. All right, so these heathen, a lot of them are not gonna. Some of them are gonna willfully submit. Some of them are gonna willfully submit, but there are gonna be some that they're gonna be like Iron, man, just hard headed, and you gotta beat their ass, man, straight up. And that's the blessing that they get, and that's the blessings that we get to rule over these nations with a rod of iron, man. Rule over these nations with a rod of iron. You read about in the book of Revelation chapter 3. All right, let's finish this out. All right, I'm gonna read verse 12 again. It says, for the nation and the kingdom that would not serve the Iron. All right, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Hey, man, you're gonna be wasted and destroyed, man. All right, see, he said it will never happen. All right, and that's why a lot of us we have to hold on to our faith and continue to endure. We know the scriptures don't lie. You see, we bringing out these prophecies, and everything in the prophecies are coming true, man. That's how I know this book is not a lie, man. The things that we've been teaching for years and years, the things our forefathers prophesied thousands of years ago are literally happening right now, man. All right, so they will come to pass, man. I'm thinking about going to get 2 Peter. Let's get Micah chapter 4 and verse 2, man. Cut iron up some more, man. Iron needs to be cut up with these scriptures. Now your ass got to pay for what y'all did to us, man. For them calling us niggas, all right. For them molesting our children, man. All right. Y'all got to pay, and your nation have to pay, Iron. Okay. This is Micah chapter 4 and verse 2. It says, and many nations shall come up and say, come, let us go unto the mountain of the Lord and the house of Jacob, and he would teach us his ways. So, yes, the heathen will cleave to us. All right? A lot of heathen will cleave to us. And that's how they're going to be blessed, because they're going to make themselves Jews, just like you read in Esther. I started to go get it earlier. So, yes, these other nations, they will be blessed by cleaving to us. They're going to serve our God, and they're going to be bowing down. They're going to be they're going to lick up the dust from our feet. Iron's wife and Iron's children, when we walk by, they're going to lap the damn floor like a dog, man. All right? And that's your blessing. That is your blessing. All right? And it says it would teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem, man. So that's the blessing that the heathen get. That's just part of it, man. Let's get another precept. We're almost done. Let's get Zechariah. There's a precept to go with that. Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 16. All right. And it reads, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is left. So, and this precept is definitely for a damn I and I. All right, I'm gonna show that. Yeah, because Arab is Muslim. Gardia is Arab is Muslim. All right, it is Muslim. Yeah, that's why I say like that. That one guy must be. Iron is a damn Arab, man. Most likely. All right, most likely. All right. So let's go Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 14 verse 16. And it should come to pass, and like I say, this scripture is just for you, Iron. Says, and it should come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem, even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Now, Iron, your ass you better be at the Feast of Tabernacles, worshiping our King. Your ass better be there. All right. Verse 17, it says, and it should be that whosoever would not come up of the families like Iron, I'm not gonna do it. It's not it's gonna be heathen doing it, man. That's a 100%. That's a fact. A lot of heathen gonna cleave, but it's gonna be them Iron, them damn dummies out there that still think it's a joke. It's gonna be UFOs zipping across our damn head and Iron, all those niggers. I can't believe they ruling over us. I'm not going to the damn Feast of Tabernacles. I don't care how many damn so-called UFOs I see zipping over our damn heads, man. All right. It says, and it should be that whosoever will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, they have no rain, and shall be the plague. All right. Verse 18, and if the family of Egypt go not up and come not and have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen. Iron them. The Lord say, if you don't come and worship our God in these days, the Lord is going to smite you. All right. Shit, I'm gonna just tell you, because a lot of people playing. As soon as this live go off, the Lord might smite you as soon as this damn live go off, man. Hey, it was this one lady. It was a Hebrew woman. She was at my job, man. It's just like she was a little bit older. She offered me a piece of pork, like a pork sandwich. It was like a pork sausage sandwich. I'm like, nah, sis, I don't want none. You know, that pork ain't good for you. You know what that sister did? I'm eating it. Look at me. It ain't nothing happening to me. I'm eating it. So she was eating it. I said, all right. The very next day at work, she came to me in the morning. She said, B, I'm not eating pork no more. I don't know what the Lord did to her, because people think that it is a joke. I didn't even ask her. I ain't ask her, but I know that the Lord got up with her, man. All right. Look at Iron. I say, yeah, your ass better be scared. All right, your ass better be scared. All right, verse 18, it says, and if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, all right, have no rain, there should be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, man. All right, it says, this should be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And that day, there should be upon the bells and on the horses holiness unto the Lord. The pots in the Lord house should be like the bowls before the altar. So, hey, all nations are to come serve our God in whether you like it or not, because we're gonna make you come serve the Lord. Hey, we're gonna take chains. All right, we're gonna put that big that yoke of iron around your neck. All right, and it's gonna be connected to your wife. And it's gonna be connected to your children. All right, and we're gonna have a hammer. We'll have a big ass African. All right, just yanking that chain, you know, pulling that chain. Your children falling and scraping their damn legs. All right, all hell is gonna be breaking loose, man. And I think it's damn funny, man, but it's not. These things are to come to pass. These things are to come to pass, man. All right, let's get Revelation chapter 11. I promise y'all, after Revelation, it's only one more. All right. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 1. We had an hour and 29 minutes, man. All right. After Revelation, it's only one more. All right. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 1. All right. Y'all remember this is based off of Zechariah chapter 2 verse 11. You know, all nations are going to be called by the Lord's name. No, there's only one nation that's called by the Lord's name, and that's Israel. All right. All right. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 1. It says, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood saying, rise and measure the temple of God. And we know that the Israelites, we are the temple of God. All right. It says the altar and them that worship therein, man. We worship therein, man. These heathen, all right, these damn Ishmaelites, they don't worship our God, man. All right. They worship a false, they worship a damn rock. And they run around this big ass house that they claim is Abraham's house. It's not damn Abraham's house. Just folly and madness, man. But that's what they worship, a damn rock, man. All right. All right. The Lord said, rise and measure the temple of God and the altar and them that worship therein. But the court, which is without the temple, leave out and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months. So the inside of the temple, we're going to measure it. That's for us that's keeping the commandments, the children of God. And the people on the outside of the court, that's for the Gentiles. That's how you're going to be blessed, because you're going to be outside of the court. All right, we up here and y'all are down here serving us, man. Y'all were built for servitude, and I you were made for servitude, man. Hey, and I love a big mouth servant, man. I'm trying not to. You gonna make me go to Sirach chapter 6 real quick. I love a big mouth servant, man. All right, just so I can add more heavy fetters and damn chains to you, and have you doing rigorous works, man. All right, let's get the last precept. Get the last precept, and then we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Here, Revelation chapter 22. This is one of my new favorite precepts. All right, because the heathen, they do receive. There's blessings that the heathen get. All right, they are certain blessings that they get. Okay, this is the book of Revelation chapter 22 and verse 1. It says, and he shewed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, man. That's going into the full understanding of the Bible. The Israelites, we will gain the full understanding. The Lord's going to be unlocking stuff for us in the kingdom. We were like, damn, we didn't see that there. All right, it says, the Lord's going to show us a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. All right. It says, in the midst of the streets of it, and on either side of the river, there was the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, man. All right. So we're that tree of life. All right. And that tree of life, well, Christ is the tree of life, but it will bear, it will bear 12 manner of fruit. Okay. And we are that 12 manner of fruit, man. The 12 tribes of Israel. All right. It says, and yield her fruit every month. It says, and the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations. All right. So you have the fruit. We're going to be getting the oranges and the apples. This is really going into the blessings and the covenant that's for the Israelites. All right. But the Lord is using fruit as a similitude. We're going to get all the juicy, sweet apples, non-GMO, and all the damn peaches and the damn grapes about that big, but they're just pure grapes, man. They got the seeds in them. All right. Just pure fruit, man. But the Lord say the leaves will be left for the healing of the nation. So yeah, y'all, the nations get the scraps. You get the scraps. You and your family get the scraps, man. All right. And that's the blessing that the heathen will receive. They will get the scraps, man. Just like right now, we're on the bottom of society getting the scraps. All right, the tables are gonna turn, man. All right. But the leaves will be for the healing of the nations, even for the nations after they serve their time in captivity. Well, you always been in captivity, but at first building up our kingdom, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be rigorous for NN and his people, man. Hard bondage. We're gonna take your children, we're gonna take your wife. We're gonna send your wife that way, and we're gonna send your children the other way. You'll never see them ever again. Okay, so that's how it's gonna start out for the heathen. But then after a while, they will go back to their lands, and they will be in servitude. All nations will be in servitude to the Israelites, just like all nations are in servitude to the so-called white man right now. All right, with that, that's the end of the class. I hope y'all enjoy. Y'all please like, share, and subscribe. Help us to push the truth all over the four corners of the earth. All right, unto all nations of the earth. All right, because we're scattered in all nations. All right. Hey, we appreciate the alms that y'all give. Hey, y'all helping us out a lot. Like I said, we are trying to build and grow. We're trying to get into other cities and bring a Battle Axe congregation near y'all, man. So y'all help with that. It helps with us paying them bills, and all and this and that. All right. So I'll praise to the Most High that y'all giving alms and serving the Lord by giving alms. All right. If y'all want to give alms, you can donate in the description below. You hit the GoFundMe or the Cash App in the description below if y'all want to donate. Okay. At the end of every lesson, we always bring out a law. And the law we're going to bring out is Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 4. I really wanted to get into the chat more. Then the Ethiopian says, does anyone know that the Ethiopian tribe are part of the 12 tribes? I believe somewhere it was said in Ethiopia. So I'm going to tell you, because I got into it with my homeboy about this. He loved Ethiopians, but we know Ethiopians will be slain by the Lord. So, but there's Ethiopians, just like you read in Acts chapter 2 and verse 5. They are, yes, brother, they are Ethiopians in Israel. So I'm not sure if that tribe is a Hebrew tribe, but you have to do your due diligence to search those things out. Just go on Google and just try to search those things out, man. Because yes, there are Ethiopians that are Israelites, man. All right, there are so-called Africans that are Israelites. So yeah, y'all make sure that y'all search these things out, man. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 23 and get up out of here, man. Damn, Ian, you still putting BS in the chat, man. You be Ian caught up. Ian trying to throw up curses, man. Out of Numbers 23 and 23, man. There's no enchantment against the children of Israel, man. No matter what kind of church curses you can damn trying to throw up, man. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 4. And it reads, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when you came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against the Balaam, the sons of Beor and Pethor of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. Nevertheless, the Lord thy God will not hearken unto Balaam, but the Lord thy God turned the cursing into a blessing. So all these curses that these heathen do to us is gonna turn into a blessing. All right. He's still talking to us. Let me keep reading. It says, unto thee, it says, because the Lord thy God loved thee. So all the curses that people put on you, they're gonna turn into a blessing. The same thing that you read in Genesis chapter 12 and verse number 3. All right. Those blessings, the same thing you read even for the children of Israel in Genesis chapter 27, verse 23. All right. Verse 6, it says, thou shalt not seek their peace, nor thy prosperity all thy days and forever, man. So we're not to seek their peace and seek these heathens' prosperity, man. Like I say, we got brothers bugging out in the truth. You know, they want to hold hands with Esau. A lot of brothers just getting scared because they know the persecution is coming, and they think, well, let me just take the money and just say you guys can be saved too, and maybe they're not gonna destroy me. No, they're still gonna destroy your ass. All right. So it don't matter. It's better to perish serving the Lord than to perish being wicked as hell, man. All right. It says who named these nations, man? The Most High God named the nations, man. All right. The Most High God, through the precepts, all right, through the publishing of the scriptures, all right, through his spirit, he named all the nations. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Y'all have a great rest of the week, man.